it's such a strange thing that goes on in our brains, how we can be the happiest we've ever been, but still have those thoughts in our head.
Yeah, it's like this sounds crazy, but it's like a burden to feel like I can trust 100%, because it's like my body wants to say, don't do that.
Why are you looking at me like that? Oh,
Brought him out here to Big Bear so that if we get into it right now during this conversation, he's going over the balcony.
I think there's a symbol. Is it this when you need help?
No,
it's help me. Yeah, so we're out here in Big Bear just to unplug and connect.
Yeah, we brought our 21 and our 13-year-old here, and we brought our dog, our 15-year-old dog, who's not the healthiest guy. Passed out twice already.
Yeah.
And he barely made this trip up here. But I don't know about dogs and anxiety attacks in cars. I think there's dogs who love to be in cars, and then there's our dog.
Well, I guess he used to. You said he used to.
Yeah, when we used to go every day, he was, great. But then when we moved to California and I had a lot going on, I left the baby at home while I took Lita to school, which left the dog at home. And then he didn't get in the car unless he was going to the vet or the groomer. So every time he got in the car, he associated it with those two things. Yeah. So he would panic. And so I just stopped putting him in the car. We eventually got a mobile groomer and a mobile vet, everything. Yeah. But now, it sucks because if I do have to actually bring him to a vet, like emergency, he's not going to make it.
No, not at all. But hey, I don't know. He's good. He's good now.
Yeah,
he's good. It's funny talking about Bubba and his newfound fear of getting in the car and going to the vet, and how he reacts kind of gets me to thinking about fear. I know for me, there was some fear with being a 40-something-year-old and getting into a brand new relationship, having been in a relationship for 22 plus years and figuring out a new routine and new children and everything. There was some fear there.
There's a lot of fear.
I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people go through that fear of what is it going to be like being in a new relationship? How is this going to? I don't know. How am I gonna be as an individual?
Yeah, especially when you were in a relationship for quite a while before that. So, or even maybe not, or many relationships, but that's what you have to compare it to going into something new. So it's like, oh, is this person that I'm attracted to and feeling good about right now going to start showing something different soon? Or red flags from the past are going to show up, or you have those red flags in your pocket already, right? And you're waiting to like see one that matches it. Mm-hmm. So you're constantly kind of looking for something that's wrong. Yeah. I know we talked about recently. So when we first met each other, we worked together. Mm-hmm. And if you listen to our first episode, we talk about that a little bit. But we only worked together for so many years. And then when we left our jobs, we left at the same time. So we have never known to each other not working together.
Right.
So when we left our jobs a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, it's been a year.
Yeah. Yeah. I've not worked for 1 year. But we we realized that, oh my gosh, when you get a new job, which you did, I was afraid that I was going to be like feeling some kind of way
Right.
because I was so used to you being right there, right? So I worked in a little health center, and he was like walking around campus and always out and about. But whenever I would call you, radio you, you would
Yeah.
be there in a second. I mean, I'd literally radio you to come kill spiders and mice and huge roaches.
Yeah, no.
But that was because it was by the ocean.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we would eat together. We'd work the same shift together. We would drive in together. We would drive home together. I mean, that was kind of like one of those jobs where you were on call 24 hours.
Right.
So, if you weren't even there, I was there. You were there sometimes anyway, even on your days off, just having dinner with me or lunch with me or whatever.
Right.
So when you had to get a new job, I had this fear that, oh my gosh, there's going to be this whole environment that I have no clue about what you're doing while you're there. I don't know those staff members you're working with. I don't know what the environment looks like. And I slipped into this memory of how things used to be in previous relationships.
Right.
And I worry about like what I can't see and what I can't imagine because I don't know what your day to day looks like, right?
Yeah.
So I get a little bit like jealous, thinking, who's he talking to? Who's that person that he has to communicate with all the time? Is that a female? And is that female like attracted to him eventually, or is there going to be some weirdness at work that you're gonna come home and I'm gonna have all these questions for
Right.
you? And it's just like you go through this whole like thing in your head about the possibilities because my mind takes me to something negative because that's unfortunately what's comfortable is to assume something negative, right?
Yeah.
Despite all the reassurance you're always giving me and calling me 5-6 times a day from work, always talking about people at work. People at work know exactly who I am. I've met them all, they know me by name.
Right.
But yet it's like it's almost foreign for me not to feel jealous, right? So I'm like, well, I have no reason to feel jealous, not a single reason, but yet it feels like I should be.
Right. It's a thing. I mean, I'm that way as well. And it's not like it's a constant feeling. Like it's every day. Whenever you walk out the door, it's like, where's she going? Who's you gonna see? Who's gonna be looking at her? Who's gonna? It's not like it's a constant thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's as if things from the past spring up in my head, and it's just like, oh crap.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to feel that way, but the pain from the past still creeps in.
Well, it's almost like because there's no reason to, you need to find a reason because that's what feels normal.
Yeah, it's like it's an innate thing to do. It's just, all right, this is too great. What's wrong?
Yeah.
Everything feels so nice. What's wrong?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be this happy? And it's such a strange thing that goes on in our brains, how we can be the happiest we've ever been, but still have those thoughts in our head.
Yeah, it's like this sounds crazy, but it's like a burden to, I mean, temporarily here and there. It's like a burden to feel like I can trust 100%. Because it's like my body wants to say, don't do that. And it's not gut feelings or anything. It's more like, this is not normal. So I feel like that I don't know how to be. And it really kind of sucks because I remember having friends that, guys that would always talk about their girlfriends or their wives, always accusing them of cheating. And we all know that if you accuse someone of something over and over and over again, when they eventually do that thing, they use that excuse as, well, she thinks I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah, you've been pushing me to do it.
Right. But I really do see how, even if someone is not giving you any reason, it's normal to wonder, if someone's making you feel some kind of way, or if you're feeling yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what usually happens when people cheat, right? They're feeling themselves for some reason. They're feeling like someone else wants them, and they're proud of it.
Look at me, I'm
yeah.
the ego, man, that poking out, chest poking out, all peacocking, and it's
dangerous.
It is. It really is.
But,
because I mean, I think, and this is just my complete opinion. Doesn't have to be fact. There's no expert, discussion on this, but I think that the person is missing something, and it's not necessarily something that's going on with the other person, or it's something that that person has done or whatever. They feel like they're missing something, and it could be, I don't know how to communicate with my spouse, to tell my spouse, this is something that I like, this is something that I need. Yeah. And then that becomes a problem.
So, like, for instance, we had a conversation with a friend, and this friend is, he's a big deal.
Yeah.
And he's financially stable. Yeah. And him and his wife have been together since the very beginning of everything, right? When they had nothing to having everything. And his wife and him are now having issues where they're taking a break because she can't handle his fame.
Right.
And his fame is causing this strife in their relationship, because he has to network all the time, and he has to stay out late, and he has to schmooze with people, and he has to fly away on private jets, and make business deals. And he's amongst a lot of fans, so people are always going after him. Girls, trying to dress provocatively around him, trying to be sexy and talk to him a certain way. I'm sure he's getting offered a lot of options of things, and so he's saying that it's really difficult, because even though he wants only his wife and his respect for her is so high, he cannot convince her that he's not reacting to any of that stuff. Even the people around him are like, monitoring and making sure that it doesn't get out of hand, or doesn't get like to a place where she's even going to suspect it. But she's home with the kids a lot and doesn't want to participate in that stuff. So she's just assuming something bad's happening.
Right.
And so their marriage now is injured because he cannot convince her. And I get that. I don't know. Sometimes I know you do a lot of things. You are part of the city that we live in, and you have to do a lot of networking, and there's a lot of things you do that I'm not involved in, so that I don't know all the details. And there's times where you're somewhere and there's not a time that something ends. And so you have to just stay until it's over. And there's nights, where I'm just like, what you doing?
You still there?
Yeah. Who's there? What you doing? But I didn't want to go. You've always offered to let me go, or I have no business there, Yeah. But it's hard. And the only way I can say that I think it makes it better is that you reassure me, but we also talk about it often. And I also have to slow down with that. I can't just keep doing that, because it's not fair to you. It's telling you I don't trust you, and that's not fair, because you haven't done anything to make me not trust you. But I mean, I think this is what happens.
I think it is.
I think this is a normal thing. I don't think this is rare.
I don't think it's rare either. I think what is rare in most cases is the inability to have the conversation. To be straight up with the person that you love, and say, all right, look, this is me. This is what's going on. This is how I'm feeling, or whatever. The breakdown in communication breaks down a lot of other things in the relationship. If you cannot openly and honestly communicate with the person that you know everything about, something's wrong. And I'm so grateful that we trust each other enough to be able to have the hard conversations. So I really appreciate you and I appreciate our relationship. And I hope that with what we're doing, we can be able to allow other people to want to do the same, or to give other people the courage to be able to say, all right, I'm just going to sit outside with my wife
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to have this talk.
Grab a cuppa.
Grab a cuppa.
And yeah, have a conversation, because I don't think anybody would be in their right mind and say, no, I don't want to sit down and have a conversation with you. Even if that person can't get as vulnerable, if you just get vulnerable a little bit and ask, say, hey, do you mind if I tell you what's on my mind? Can we have a safe place to have a chat where you're not going to get upset with me, or you're not going to take anything wrong? I just really want to have some dialogue with you that makes sense, so that we can come back to this place and talk about these things in a safe environment, nobody else around. Yeah, I'm afraid that there's a lot of people that just can't do that, or they don't do it. They don't know that they can, because they don't.
Yeah.
But thankfully, we've kind of found this magical place where we can do it, and it's not even that we have to be on camera. We do it all the time.
Yeah.
Which is why we're doing it now, because we're like, we should talk about
this.
this.
Yeah, we got to talk about it. Yeah. And hopefully those, like I said, those people out there, hopefully they just take a leap of faith and say, I'm going to have the courage to have this conversation with you.
Yeah.
And then hopefully that'll spark something.
Yeah.
Plant the seed.
Well, you know what I just noticed? These coffee mugs match our outfits. Our really casual, comfortable outfits.
Chillin'.